try and talk through that noise that you can hear.
Poltergeists, apparitions and brutal murder awaits the Most Haunted team in Aberdeenshire.
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted.
Despite its ancestral past, today's location hides a bitter and bloody family feud. Ghoulish apparitions, severe poltergeist activity, and even a mysterious musician have terrified staff and visitors alike.
And that's why I've brought you to Craigievar Castle.
Travel 20 miles west of Aberdeen and amongst the splendid foothills of the imposing Grampian Mountains, you'll find the equally as impressive Craigievar Castle. This was one of the last tower houses to be built and was finally completed in 1626 and acted very much as a status symbol for its owner, the wealthy merchant William Forbes. A long line of families have been privileged to live here since, and although some are known to have suffered financial hardship, the National Trust of Scotland have ensured that Craigievar still survives today. Our only question is who else remains within these walls?
Craigievar Castle, probably the best preserved Scottish tower house in the whole of the Grampians. This place goes back to about 1620, but we believe that there was actually a castle on the grounds before this. It was built by William Forbes, who was a very, very wealthy merchant. It's got huge, thick granite walls, and of course, it's got ghosts.
This is now called the Blue Room, though it used to be called the Ghost Room, and for a very good reason. Doors would open and close on their own with such regularity that it's now considered normal. And music will fill this empty space when there's no one here. Objects move on their own, as if being picked up by unseen hands, and a dark, shadowy figure has been seen here on a regular basis.
There's the story of the owner of the castle, Red John Forbes. And the Forbes family were not particularly keen on the Gordon clan. And unfortunately, his daughter was having a liaison with one of the Gordons, and she smuggled him in here into the castle. Sir John found out about it, caught the lad, and took him upstairs at sword point and pushed him out of one of the windows in the Blue Room. Now, on looking at the windows in there, I was a bit surprised because, in my opinion, they weren't big enough to actually push someone out. But the actual window is behind the bed, and when you go outside and have a look, it is quite a large window, certainly big enough to push somebody out of. Now, both Red John Forbes haunts that room, and also the Gordon that was killed. And there are reports of footsteps, ghostly footsteps, being heard echoing up the spiral staircase. It's as if the poor lad is reenacting his last steps up the stairs before being pushed out of the window.
Stairs are said to be a favourite haunt of spirits, and these stairs are no exception. A dark, shadowy figure has been seen wandering its full length. A new guide thought she saw someone on the stairs. When she tried to confront whoever or whatever it was, it just completely disappeared. She was so traumatised by this experience that she resigned and has never come back.
And then we have another very interesting story that I found in an old Edwardian book. There's a story of a fiddler that was reputedly thrown down a well. Well, since I've come here, I've found that there's dungeons, and beneath the dungeons is a pit. Now, the laird, of course, ruled this area, and of course rough justice was often dished out, and we believe that this fiddler was actually thrown into the pit and died there. Now, his ghost is supposed to haunt the place, and this morning when I arrived here, I had a word with one of the guides, a lady called Fergie, and apparently she had a tape recording that she actually took herself on a dictaphone in the Blue Room of the noise of people. It sounded like a party. And in the background, would you believe, there was distinct fiddle music being played. And of course it all ties in with the story of the fiddler that I believe was thrown into the pit and died. So all in all, we've got a super castle here. Lots of dark, spooky areas, rooms to go in, and I think we're in for quite an interesting night.
Despite its grand name, Craigievar has always acted as more of a home than a fortress, and parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe has already noted a few intriguing factors for this particular investigation.
This is a very small castle compared to many that we've been. How do you think this investigation is going to differ from many of the other big stately homes and castles we've been to before?
Purely in terms of logistics, the crew is going to have to be very careful because a lot of the rooms here are a lot smaller, like you say, than any of the previous investigations. There's a lot of ornaments, a lot of furniture that we have to be very, very careful of.
What do you think about the experiment that we want to do, which is sort of using a wireless, detuning it, and then hopefully getting white noise and voices coming through the radio, as it were, during a séance?
There is a theory in parapsychology that says perhaps not everybody can hear communication from spirit, and that if you set a radio to white noise, you're basically setting it between frequencies, and that maybe ghosts will start to communicate on that particular frequency.
So what are you expecting to hear tonight?
Well, this particular location is very, very cold, like you say. There is no electricity, and in a way it conforms to a stereotype of what a haunted location is. Maybe the anxiety levels will be quite high. Now that might be counteracted by the fact that there is a lot of furniture in these rooms, and they are quite homely. They are quite comfortable in terms of the furniture, so they might be counteracting to that, but still it should be a very interesting evening.
So, an ideal opportunity, it seems, to try additional experiments in most haunteds' relentless attempts to capture paranormal activity. And with spiritualist mediums Derek Okora and David Wells having now joined the rest of the team in the Scottish Highlands, we can begin our investigation at Craigievar Castle.
As much as, I'm asking you, can we come in here? Just as we entered this atmosphere here, up on this level, I've got a feeling of revulsion. I really feel as if we are being listened to by more than one spirit person, and I've got this pent-up feeling of one of these individuals who's a bad sort. However, I'm also getting the opposite to that. I'm getting this feeling, it's like as if my chest wants to puff out, make me a bigger, broader shoulder sort of a person. The only way I can describe it, if I stand back in these energies here, I would say, it's like as if I'm looking at this and it's like his chest is all white and he's got the very large, like, red cross that is emblazoned in front, and he comes here as well, for some reason, and it's like he's big man, this, but not a bad spirit, a person that was a just man. He thought he was a just man. Who's that? Richard, go on. The symbol of the lion, Richard the Lionheart.
He comes here?
Richard the Lionheart.
All right.
And he comes here. Yeah.
Wow. So he would have stayed here, perhaps in this room?
He must have done. He must have done, because he comes into this area. Again, he's only in visitation. He is not grounded.
What year would he have come visiting here?
Oh, gosh.
Or what era? What sort of time period?
Something 8. Before the 9th and 10th century, the 8th something, this goes way back here.
And is anybody active in this room? I know you say people come and visit, but is there anybody...
Can I tell you, I'm aware of at least 4 little children.
Right.
who didn't lose their lives in a bad way, 4 beautiful little children, and their laughter should be heard throughout this castle. However, their laughter will be heard, but then in different parts of this castle, it's the opposite. I hear screaming, I hear screeching.
Of children, or?
Yes. And adults. Ooh. Okay. You see, around this room now, I'm getting this feeling of satanic. It's the whole round level of evil that this soul has delved in. Experimental, doing things, cutting body parts.
Do you have a name with this person?
I hope to get this before this tonight's through, okay?
And a time when this would have happened?
I feel again we're linked around in 1500s, around that area. And his stench, his evil stench, is still here in this castle. He got his just rewards in the end.
Here? Did he die here?
Did he die here, in this castle? No, he didn't. He was taken away and he was strung by the neck.
So exactly who is this evil entity? As the Most Haunted team prepare for their own crusade, what other secrets will be revealed at Craigievar Castle?
I swear you all violin.
Nestled at the foot of the Grampian Mountains lies Craigievar Castle. This location has seen many residents over its rich and varied 380-year history. But how many of these residents hold a dark secret? We intended to find out as the Most Haunted crew descended into the castle's dungeon area.
Okay, now, as we're down in this area now, to all intents and purposes, I suppose, you know, you could think, well, what is it? Is it a cellar? What is it? But it's not. This was a torture chamber. He took life after life. He strung them up and he ripped their bodies apart. And they're screaming. And they're screaming, mercy, mercy. This is not the floor. This is not the floor.
All right.
It's not the floor where the blood used to go. This has been replaced. He was very crafty. When he was doing these things, these windows, he would look to see if any movement, anyone was coming. And when he realised that there was no one round, he'd do these despicable things.
When this man was doing this, did he have a family here with him? Or was he just living here on his own? Because it strikes me as if a man is doing this...
No, I feel
he would have to be on his own.
Yes. I don't feel that he had what we call strong family commitments. I feel he was well, his soul, the way he is a solitary, and the more he went on and did what he was doing, the more he becomes solitary. He becomes so into the dark, satanic things that he thought he gained power by every life that he took.
Even though we're down here and you're still getting all this dark stuff, are you still getting the laughing children? Are you getting...
The laughing children are not down here.
Right.
No way. Those spirit children would not come down here. They'd have no reason to come down. They're not part and parcel of that negative history. They come much later in time, and they were part of a family that were very happy here.
Happy or not, Craigievar Castle does seem to harbour a myriad of dark secrets. But would any of these secrets be brought into the light as we entered darkness and switched our cameras to night vision? David Wells joined the crew as we made our way towards the ladies' withdrawing room.
The first thing I'm aware of in here is a woman. Now, she's naked, and she's been caught doing the deed doing the business. She's been caught having sex. And that's the very first impression here, is a woman shrieking, and she's covering her bosom's bits.
Yeah.
And she's running around.
Who's caught her? Is that coming through?
It's like the door slams open, and it's... the word that my guide has given me is family. So I don't know if it's a whole lot of them, or... So I was expecting husband, because you would.
Yeah.
And the impression I get in here is someone being thrown out of a window.
Not the woman, this is somebody else?
Yes. This is involved in this situation. It may be the man involved in this situation, thrown out of a window, because I'm trying to move the story on and I can see her crying. There is no presence of him.
You mean the lover?
Yes.
Right.
There is no, because she's so dominant, I'm trying to get to him as well, because, you would imagine if she's dominant, he would be. And to be honest, I can't pick up on him at all.
Right.
And that's me being honest, I can't get him at all. I can get her, but not him, which would suggest to me, and this is only a suggestion because I can't see him being thrown out of a window.
Right.
Who
would have done that then?
The family. Her father or her brothers,
yeah.
males in the family. There was no women here, males in the family. But the words they're putting into my head is the Campbells and the MacDonalds. Now, I'm not suggesting for one second this is not Campbell and MacDonald territory, even I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But that says clan war again to me. It says clan war, I'm not suggesting it's those two clans. I'm saying it's two opposing factions.
Okay. What did she die of? Can you be told that?
I don't think she died here. I may be wrong. I'm just trying to find. I'm just trying to move it on.
Any name with her? Is it coming through?
The name I'm getting is like Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. Sounds like Elizabeth, Liz, that kind of name. I am getting lots of blood around her. I can sense blood on her and around her. So I'm thinking she didn't meet a particularly natural death.
She was murdered.
She didn't die in her sleep. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think because of what she'd done?
By the other clan, exactly. That's just what they're saying. It's, the old saying, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So one goes, and that's how it would probably have been, I would think.
This sad story, with echoes of Romeo and Juliet, appears to have had an inevitable and bloody end. But could this evil act have been the catalyst of a clan war? After all, these Scottish Highlands are rife with rich reports of simmering and often fatal family feuds. Tradition also strongly states that this very room witnessed Sir John Forbes force a member of the opposing Gordon clan out of a window, where he fell to a rapid death. Just maybe we'll find out more as we tentatively entered the tank room.
Is she here?
I have more of a sense of her sort of here. She's not like she's squeezed into that little space.
Speak out how you're hearing it.
She's talking in a very strong Scottish accent, which I won't do because it is very strong.
Do it. No, I want to hear what you're hearing.
Well, she's saying things like, there's never a man I'll trust again. My father, which is father, my father was as bad as the rest of them. And my mother did nothing to help me. She's trying to press upon me that while they were downstairs drinking, I presume she means the menfolk fathers and things like that, while they were downstairs drinking, she was upstairs bleeding. That's what she's saying. She was upstairs bleeding.
And they had knowledge of this?
I don't know, Kieran. She just... To be honest, I couldn't say yes or no. I don't, right. That's exactly what she said to me. While they were downstairs drinking, I was upstairs bleeding.
Because earlier on you were saying that possibility she died somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're getting stronger image saying that looks as though she died here.
Well, she's saying she was upstairs bleeding. That's what she's saying to me.
Right. Okay.
So this is the same woman that was covering herself up?
Yes.
Right. So, but the man who was pushed out of the window, he doesn't haunt here?
I can't... I haven't
as
yet, I'll be honest, and I cannot find him.
All right.
Trying to find him, but I cannot.
All right.
Yet more sensory information had come David's way. But as we moved further along the 4th floor, he suddenly felt a more physical reaction to these surroundings. And a possible reason for this sudden affront would soon lie ahead of us in the Blue Room.
I still feel sick. I felt fine all day, and we got to the location, and once more, I feel sick.
Can I ask one more question before we leave this area? I know you're not getting very strong sense through about this man that was thrown out the window, but do you get a sense of which room it happened, and if which room, perhaps which window he was thrown out of?
This room.
It was definitely this room.
Definitely this room.
Do you get a sense of which window it might have happened, or...?
The room looks different. Let me just... In my mind's eye, the bed's the other way around, and where the bed back is a window.
What, where the bed back is now, there's a window?
Yeah, there's a window. So it's twisted completely round. In my mind's eye, the bed's there in the middle. In my mind's eye, the bed's here. It's more here.
So this wall here, because this is a wall.
Yeah. The room looks completely different in my mind's eye. I tell you, the bed is opposite. I can see her running towards the fireplace.
Right.
But by the way, I can guarantee there is a window on the other side of that bed.
You're kidding?
Oh, no, I promise you there is. And it's a bigger window, and I've been outside.
No, I didn't know that.
This hidden window in the blue room had intrigued us all, but what secrets did it hold, and why was it covered up? Previous staff had dubbed this area the ghost room, and with good reason, as most of the alleged paranormal activity emanates from this area. Curiously, a modern-day photograph has also added to the mystery that surrounds these four walls. As to this day, no one can provide a rational explanation for the bizarre formation of light or mist shown in this innocuous picture. And many more mysteries still lie ahead at Craigievar Castle.
What was that?
This most haunted investigation has brought us to the scenic Craigievar Castle, a Scottish home for centuries, forever living in the shadows of the Grampian Mountains. Derek, Ian Stewart and John Dibley decided to start their investigation in the Great Hall, the supposed epicentre of paranormal activity. Richard could be found beneath them as he condemned himself to a night of solitary confinement in the dungeon.
We've got a spirit person who's... I know he's listening here. I'm going to find out whether it's such a bad one, but... I've got this feeling, you know, that the one who's very proud of this ceiling, I mean proud of the ceiling, is like when he comes in here and he looks up and it's like the pride of that ceiling. Whatever the connection with this ceiling, something so special is to do with this ceiling for some reason. Not the walls, but the ceiling. And it's like as if he's so proud, and I know that is most definitely a man who calls himself William. Wow. William is proud of this ceiling. And William's not grounded here, he comes in visitation. Now, William is not the negative, nasty, depraved, evil one that's here.
An interesting start to the vigils that may have some basis in fact. This plasterwork bears the inscription 1626, a time when this building's laird was William of Many in Craigievar. Intrigued, our search continued in the dungeon.
The problem I've got with in here is I know what's underneath. That's a false floor, and underneath the floor is the old pit. This is a place where prisoners would be thrown. And up this staircase here, this is where the prisoners came down from the Great Hall, from the Room of Justice. They were sentenced to either pit or gallows. In other words, they were either taken out and hanged from a gallows tree or thrown into the pit down below.
If there's any spirit person, even the evil one, that's in attendance in this atmosphere, listening or watching us, a simple request comes from us is prove that you're here. display some kind of noise, knocking. Let's hear your footsteps. Let's hear your voice. If you can, show yourself.
Is there anybody here with me? Anybody in this room now that wishes to make contact with me? What the was that? Hello?
William, are you here in this room with us? If so, please make your presence be known. Show us a sign. Show us a light anomaly. Move the chandelier or the ceiling. Do something for us.
I just got prodded, but I wasn't sure if it was just a muscle spasm or it certainly just did it to me then.
In your shoulders?
No, it was on my lower back.
Okay, could be.
That sounded as if it came from the door. If there's someone here with me now, someone from the spirit world, can you do that again? Can you move the door?
Do something for us so we know you're here. Make a sound. Speak to us.
Right, Stuart?
I think you know.
What did you say?
I didn't see anything. I felt something at the side of me then.
Yeah.
It was like that, Derek.
Was it?
Seriously.
Touching?
Was it a quick prod or was it holding you?
No, it was just a quick touch. It was like something actually pinched.
Oh, that's what I just felt. That's what I just felt.
Something pinched my garment and just pulled it over to one side.
Right.
You with me?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I felt.
Okay.
So that was a similar thing that I just felt. I thought it was just like, like a pinch.
Yeah.
I'll keep on that one.
Yeah, keep on doing this, yeah.
But know something else might happen.
Yeah.
If that was you, that touched me, can you please do it again for us, please? Talk to Derek. Do something to Derek. No disrespect, Derek.
That's honest, yeah.
Can you please do something to John and Derek? Make a sound. I don't know about you, but I actually feel a lot colder.
Yeah, it's not cold.
It has got
Chill down.
It does go a lot colder,
Last chance before I go. Come and see me. Come and talk to me. Give me a sign. Last chance. Going in a minute. Please make me a sign.
Just come here, just walk where you were, Stuart. And you walk from there to here. The temperature.
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it. It's a lot colder.
Isn't it?
One of you guys come and walk in and you can feel it for yourselves.
What, does it get colder?
Yeah. Come and walk over here. It is a lot colder here, isn't it? Yeah. Can you feel it?
You've got a fire.
Yeah, it's locked up now, but that won't be used now, will it?
No. The temperature is so much colder.
Although cold spots in a creaky cellar was not conclusive proof that spirits were wandering these halls, Richard, Kath, Rachel, David and myself felt that the Great Hall was worthy of further investigation.
If you're making audibles, please now make a sound and tell me that you're here. Just knock for yes. William, if that's truly you, I just mean to identify to people that it is you. Please knock twice for us. Was that twice, Rach?
No.
That was once.
Oh, that was twice.
Okay. Ask again. Twice together really quickly. If are you William Forbes? What's up, Kath?
I just thought I got a light anomaly.
Okay.
If you're William Forbes, please, I'll rap on the table and show you what I mean, William. Just like this. I want you to respond like this. Could you do that for us? Please, not twice like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, William, if that's you, please show yourself or come closer to us. We don't mean you any harm.
There was a tap behind you.
It might have been me, I'm not sure.
Move again, Kath. No, it was a footstep. I heard it.
William, please make a noise. Please make a tapping noise or a... Let's hear your voice, perhaps.
Well, no, that was big.
Let's hear your voice, perhaps. Let's hear your voice, perhaps. That was a bang. If that was you, William, please do it again. That's exactly what we can hear. We need to be able to have something loud so we can work with it and listen to you.
Was that somebody, one of our crew? Or did you hear that?
I heard voices.
heard that.
It sounded to me like a...
No, I didn't hear it.
I
definitely heard it.
You did?
Definitely heard it.
I thought it was your stomach again.
I heard
No.
I definitely heard a...
listen to you.
I've suddenly become quite apprehensive.
No, I haven't liked it in here at all.
Is that because you've heard the noises?
No, it's a slow... I've just got this feeling.
I hate the scream.
I just got the feeling that somebody is watching us.
Is it? Well, that's exactly what he's doing.
I felt as if he's walking round the table.
He is, it's exactly.
Well, I'd rather him bang on the table and talk to us than just keep wandering round and making us feel uneasy, which is going to make us frightened, so that when he does bang on something, we're all going to jump. And I'd rather he just was a true gentleman and just banged on the table and let us know.
The supposed spirit of William appeared to be unwilling to make definite contact. Although these noises were interesting, for us it wasn't enough. We felt more was needed to draw this spirit out, and so Kieran decided a new experiment was required. An experiment that would intrigue us all. Craigievar Castle was proving to be an intriguing investigation. We had already encountered audio phenomena and physical contact, but we felt that this beautiful location had more to offer. While Carl and Stuart descended to the dungeon, Rachel and Ian wanted to investigate the comfortable confines of the Great Hall.
Is there anyone here in this room with us? Are there any astral beings here in this room with us? Could you make a noise if you are? Could you tap something, move something, touch one of us?
Show us light anomalies, make a scratching sound on the wall, do something for us so that we know that you're here.
Please, could you make a noise for us? I'm going to bang on the floor so you understand what I mean. Please, could you do that for me? Could you make a noise for us?
Did you hear that shouting then?
Come and do something for us.
If you're down here, show yourself. Do something.
Did you hear that then?
I did hear that. That was the door.
That was that door.
Do something. Do something.
Well, that noise that we've just heard, because I know you closed the door when we came in anyway. It's literally open by about that much.
Come on, if you're here, do that again. Move the front door.
Oh, I just got a flashy light in the bottom right hand screen. Where's your torch? I don't think it was the reflection of that. It was happening by the sofa.
Because my thing was down, this bit was...
Put your hand right where your hand is.
Yeah.
A bit to your left. There was a flash on that sofa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should look at the door. You've got the gap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right, well, I've got a shot of that earlier. It wasn't like that.
Yeah. I can actually put my hand in the gap. I haven't opened it. I've got no reason. If someone did go through that door, the main door's only there, it would have heard the footsteps on the concrete anyway.
True.
We didn't hear that. All we heard was something, well, a noise. I investigated it. That door's open by about 2 inches or so, maybe 3 inches.
Opening doors and flashing lights were interesting, but something more was needed to convince us that spirits do indeed wander these halls. Our resident parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe suggested that this ancient castle was the perfect location to attempt an electronic voice phenomena experiment, otherwise known as white noise. While David, Richard, Kath and myself held a séance in the Blue Room, in the adjacent room Carl monitored a radio tuned to a blank channel to see if he could indeed contact any astral beings residing here.
If there's any astrals present in the other room, there is some noise you may hear. It's there to help us hear your voice. Please try and imprint your voice on the machine there. If you don't wish to talk to us, perhaps answer our questions directly into that unit, into that noise you hear. Just talk to the noise.
It's getting very cold. It's cold anyway, but it's getting even colder.
I just felt a very small tablet. Don't know if anybody else felt it. Please, if there's anyone here, could you please tap on the table? It is moving, yeah. It's very gentle though, isn't it?
It's gone. Back. It's hearing.
William? Laird William, if you can hear my voice, please come forward. Anybody, please try hard. Please tap on the table. Please make a noise in the other room where Carl is. Try and talk through that noise that you can hear.
I actually just heard someone from the other room say, is anyone there? And this went ballistic.
If you want us to leave, make the noise in the other room get louder.
I swear I hear a violin.
Is Carl doing his own asking out?
No.
No.
He may. He's also got another camera with him, so
Yeah.
he may actually be reporting.
Oh, right,
If there's
okay,
anything
because he
else.
shouldn't be asking out.
He shouldn't be asking
Right.
out, no.
He knows that.
I think he does, yeah.
Do you want to just check?
I'll just check. Are you asking out, or...?
I'm keeping quiet because I didn't want to interrupt the players that are picking this up. I've had a little...
You've been talking though, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I've spoken to the camera a few times, but very lowly.
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
Just because I thought I heard...
Did you turn the radio up at any point?
I have not. It's been going up and down, and at one point I heard, I think it was David saying, "Is anyone there?" And as soon as David said, "Is anyone there?" this came up and it went whoosh, whoosh, and then leveled down to this, but it went right down to almost nothing at one point, and then came back up again.
So should we ask again?
Try again then. If there's anyone here, could you please make a noise? Please, if there's anyone here, maybe make a noise. Move yourself towards the noise you can hear. You can hear a hissing noise. Move yourself towards it. So all you actually have to do is walk towards that noise for me, and you will affect it.
Carl?
Yeah.
Were you getting anything in there?
Some fluctuations. There are some strange noises. I don't know if that's significant. I'm not sure whether that's being on a complete empty channel, or whether it's somehow trying to pick up another station. But if not, there's definitely something on it. At one point, I thought I could have sworn there was like a violin. But a pretty bad violin coming from it.
Okay.
20 minutes after Carl left this room, our locked-off camera caught this strange white noise phenomena. As there were no members of the Most Haunted crew present in the room at this time, we could rule out any human interference with the radio. When viewing this footage, our initial feelings were that the radio had lost power. Moments later, however, the static returned. The other vigils that took place here may not have proved quite as productive.
After all these investigations over the last 3 years, Most Haunted, we do get the differences. We've experienced the differences. It's like saying, are we likely to expect at every investigation to get result after result after result, because it entirely depends on the spirit people that are at the locations. It's up to them.
But was this proof of paranormal intervention, or could the results of this white noise experiment be explained by environmental phenomena? Perhaps we would never know for sure, but the results were certainly compelling.
Craigievar Castle was a fascinating place for the Most Haunted team to investigate. It has a great history and a lot of very interesting previous eyewitness accounts. On this particular occasion, there was no phenomena produced that was evidence of the paranormal.
Things did happen. One of the best things was the fact that David Wells actually sensed, for want of a better word, a window where a Gordon Highlander was actually, well, literally thrown out to his death by Red Sir John, who owned the castle. Absolutely true. But the beauty of it is that the large four-poster bed was actually completely covering up the window. And that was the window that it happened, and David actually said that the window was through there at the back of the bed.
But by the way of it, I can guarantee there is a window on the other side of that bed.
You're kidding?
You know,
Yeah, earlier today.
And it's a bigger window, and I've been outside.
No, I didn't know that.
During the investigation, at various stages, there was a radio set up to essentially test a white noise, to look at the idea of white noise experimentation. White noise itself is a very, very difficult sound to listen to for a long period of time. And your ears do actually become accustomed to the different frequencies that are being emitted. And so for that reason, after a short period of time, you can actually start to hear other noises within the white noise emission. even though the white noise phenomena was interesting, it's not highly evidential of anything paranormal.
I'm convinced that Craigievar is haunted. There's no doubt about that, but not the most haunted.
Our 24 hours at Craigievar Castle appears to have only scratched the surface of a centuries-old family home with a dark and bloody history. Had we made contact with the other side, or was it just a ghost in the machine? Until next time, sleep tight.
Well, strange things are happening in Vegas on Thursday at CSI at 8 o'clock. Next tonight, though, brace yourself, it's not over yet. More extraordinary moments from Craigievar Castle in Most Haunted Extra.